Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes? Good. All right. Tuesday, 4:30 Pacific time. Awakening together. Traveling lighter. Yeah. All right. Well, the premise of this is to speak about the non-duality, which is the basic subject-object. You could see it as see or seen, hear or heard, feel or felt. The subject objectness and all that stems from that basic taking a verb and then putting two nouns at the end of it, so to speak, seer and seen. So why do we go that way? Because non-duality obviously is not two. There's no description of what we are. The assumption is you already are that, yeah, and a description of it wouldn't do you any good. It actually could be a disservice, because then you start having conceptual ideas of what you are held as what you're not. So the direction is always to question that. What is there an assumption that we're living from that's not true? Yeah, and is that assumption a dualistic presentation? Is it subject object? So you take the basic experience of seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, and you see that the mental state presents or claims the seeing to present a seer and seen, yeah, which would be seer at this moment is an object, but it would feel like the subject, and the seen would be the object, yes, but they're really both objects, seemingly. So that's the dilemma. The subjectivity gets called a subject, but the subject is seen as an object. So this is the dilemma. So there's no need to go any farther, because if you don't see this, you're going to be looking from it. And that looking from it is a blindness to what you are. That's the assumption. You can agree or disagree. Hopefully you'll do it silently, but that's the presentation. Yeah. And if you're interested in that, hopefully this will lead to a great disinterest in that, which is the real value of it. Yeah, because that's what. Yeah. So yeah. So does it feel like the seeing is first in a way? Yeah, it doesn't seem. And does there seem to be any thought or effort? Maybe if your eyes were bad, but that's what facilitates something, a thing called vision. But that's not what we're talking about. That which is seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and touching is not the seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and touching. It's what's being facilitated through those five gates. All right, so I would feel like the seeing is in a way first, and then the idea of being the seer comes later. Yes, maybe the later is only a second or a half a second, but it's later. Now, is it essential? Is the seer essential, or is the seeing essential? Yeah. So the seeing is what's happening, and then there's a claiming of that, and there's something implied to be the seer. But there is no seer without seeing, but there is no seer with seeing. Yes? Yes. So there's seeing, just something coming through. Let's say you want to call it vision. But what's allowing that event to occur is what's seeing, or awareness, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. It's just not you. Yeah, in a way. Truly, it is you, but it's not you. That's how you have to start. Because if you keep calling yourself uh, consciousness and you're pictured as a body, that's not a true capturing of consciousness. Yeah, it's not a thing. So when the head says I'm conscious and the I is pictured as a body, that's not doesn't work in my view. Yeah. So the seeing is essential, the seer isn't, but which is the dominant thought or the dominant topic of the narration? Is it the seeing or the seer? It's pretty simple, yeah. So in the mental state, the seeing isn't the dominant. It isn't the first thing. The seer is. Yet there is no sense of a seer except the claiming of the seeing. Yeah. So the seer comes after the seeing. Yet the way we live is that we're before all seeing because we're the seer of it. Yeah. Same thing. All the feelings must be ours because I'm the feeler of it. And the thoughts are definitely mine because I'm the thinker of it. But the thinker comes from the thoughts. The seer comes from the seeing. The hearer comes from the hearing. Yeah. Now the seer and the hearer and the feeler seem to exert a lot of effort and thought, being the feeler, the seer, the hearer. But the hearing, seeing, and feeling doesn't demonstrate any thought effort, does it? If your eyes are bad, yes, but that which is before the eyes isn't. When you wake up, does there like two alarms? One alarm is get ready to start seeing. So that has to happen around 6. So if you're going to, and then you're going to wake up at 7, you got to give that engine an hour to get ready to start seeing. No, you wake up, your eyes, you can actually feel it, the awakeness before your eyes open. Yeah, something's pushing against the lid, and then there it is. It isn't like and then there's void, and then suddenly things pop up, ba 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 ba, and then if we want so we have to make an effort for it. No, there's just a seeing, yeah, with no thought of effort. Hearing, no thought of effort, really. Feeling, no thought of effort. You don't even want to feel most of the shit you say you feel, yeah. So there's all this stuff going on, and then the mental state arises and uses that stuff to imply something, and it takes the place of living, and it now listens to an interpretation about living. Yeah. And that interpretation is called self-centered. Yeah. So everything is seen or how it pertains to self, and you're not. Yeah. So there you go. So then a lot of things occur. Some people in recovery we call an underlying irritable restlessness and discontent that's sort of like an itch that demands a scratch, basically. And once you scratch it, the itch gets worse in a weird way. You get temporary relief, but then it turns into a big lasting rash. Yeah. So so the solution doesn't work, maybe because there's been a misdiagnosis of the problem. Yeah. Maybe there's irritability, restlessness, and discontent, but it's not your irritability, restlessness, and discontent. And you don't own any volition towards the irritable restlessness and discontent. You're not doing it, and you should knock it off. It's just something that's happening based on other things that are happening. Yeah, really, with very little of you to do with it. Yeah, but you're going to be the effect. You're going to be at the point of its eruption, and then, of course, thinking ourselves as a long-lasting, independent, separate entity, we think we've got to marshal into action and change something or do something. But we're way down the road. Yeah, all this stuff's going on, really unbeneath our all-seeing eye. As Paul, and then the eye gets poked, and then then Paul sort of like a bear wakes up and who's screwing with my hibernation, and then there you go. So it's a simple message. If it landed, which it in a sense for me it seemed to the point where it was like an unspoken yes, something reverberated in a certain frequency. I felt I knew way before knowing anything, but it wasn't a song I had heard before. And then over time, that reverberation is seen now as the last answer, which is a pretty good answer. Yeah. The last answer is probably the greatest answer of all, because whenever it's the last answer to any topic, that topic isn't needing any more answers, which is a damn good answer. Yeah. So when I heard this message of non-duality, after the third year, I wasn't trying to affix it to some other wagon or some other engine like Tantra or Kabbalah or synthesize it with stuff like that. I just sort of just let it be, so to speak, and it percolates. And to me, the life that I was living was a certain life of recovery based on, a life of active addiction for quite a while. And I saw this message of non-duality not as a path of illumination, but an illuminating of any path you're on. Yeah. So if you want to call it just living a path, I think it captures it well. And so in that state, it brought new understanding to a lot of old understandings, and it brought into stark contrast a lot of misunderstandings. Yeah. And then things, without my help, got corrected. And you end up as seeing blue as blue and red as red, and the horse is in front of the cart. You're not that confused, and what's confused isn't you anyway, so who cares, really? Yeah, I don't really give a shit, to tell you the truth. So it may be yapping. I need an answer to what? You fed it thousands of answers. Has it worked? No. How about starve it? Don't give it anything and see what happens. Yeah. So this is really about a movement, or a movement of interest and attention away from this mental activity called selfing, and maybe into the living of your life, yeah, or living of life. And so instead of enslaving you to this idea of you, and having you prone to what's not happening, that interest is enriching your day. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's the same energy. It's just what's directing it and to where. So yeah, that's my feeling of non-duality. See, non-duality, you don't meet non-Buddhism, do you? I grew up a non-Catholic. No, it's one of the only things that talks about itself as a negation. Buddhism doesn't go non-Buddhism. Yeah. Yeah. But this does. This starts with a negation. It has an assumption that you are the affirmation, you are reality, you are what you're looking for. And that assumption isn't based on what you're not's condition, yeah, or of its set of requirements that it believes it has to go through to become what you're looking for. It's the assumption is right now you are what you're looking for. Yeah. That's the assumption. Or being ourselves reality. Or the seeker and the sought. No, the seeker is the sought. Yeah. Very simple. It shrinks the two-ness of subject object into nothing. Yeah. Non, not two. Boom. Yeah. So there's subjectivity. But see, what happens is the mental state can't leave anything alone, really. So when it notices or senses subjectivity, it has to pin it on an object. So it imagines the body, and now it says Paul is what's subject as an object. This is the ultimate dualism of non-duality. Non-duality is negating this assumption. That's all it is, yeah? And then once these assumptions get negated, you'll find out what goes on. Yeah. Maybe you'll be moved to do something, maybe you won't. Yeah. 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 And hopefully armed with some warnings, which is why we should come here on Tuesday. I know you're all spiritual warriors, so I'm just showing up with some warnings so you don't hurt yourself with your own fucking sword. Yeah. So here, the mental state's main movement is claiming. Just hold on to that. Yeah. So when the head presents, you're really screwed or you feel terrible, it uses that to imply a you that feels terrible. Yeah. So you're pictured, and that picture is framed by that statement. So the statement is, it's going to be, nothing's ever going to work out for me. Okay. So everyone emphasizes the me and tries to, I've got to get over this feeling of nothing's ever going to work out. No, if you see you're not the me that's talked about, you lose interest in it all. You don't want to change it. You don't want to fucking follow it. You just sort of, yeah. So the shift from listening to the head turns into hearing the head, which is completely different. Yeah. And now you travel lighter. As exactly as that which you've been trying to get out of your whole life, you now begrudgingly or finally accept a traveling lighter as that. Yeah. You're not getting out of Inca as Inca. It's no way. You know, you might as well give up that little dream. Yeah. People want to, they want to experience their own disappearance. It doesn't work. Yeah. That observer of I've disappeared hasn't disappeared. That's what you want to disappear, is the thing observing all day that you have or haven't disappeared. Yes? That's what you lose interest in. You lose interest in that narrator. Yeah? You just do. You don't try to, it just happens because it's not you. It's just that simple. Like if somebody was in the other room running a workshop in the house, beautiful girl that I'm interested in a biblical way. I'd like to meet her. Haven't talked to her yet, but I'm planning on having kids with her and stuff. Could be right on the couch in this room. And so I'm keen on listening to what she's saying in the other room because I'm hoping she says, hey, I like that guy Paul who's in the other room. So, yeah, because I don't want the fear of rejection is so much. I'm not going to ask her anything unless the bet's hedged a little bit. So I'm hoping to hear, oh, yeah, I like that guy Paul. So I'm keen on listening to that because it seems a lot more important than this. So let's say Rhoda, like she always sends me a little message, say, Paul, you don't seem to be at the Zoom today, you know, figuratively. And I go, yeah, but I'm still listening to the other room. Then somebody, Rhoda, sends me a PDF of a book, How to Lose Interest in a Conversation in Another Room. I speed read through it. I understand it, but I don't care really because this is important to me, what that lady thinks. And then suddenly the lady says something and I'm really keen on it. And she says, I really like Ted. Yeah. And now I'm not Ted. What happens? There's a loss of interest in that conversation in the other room. The book didn't do it. Rhoda didn't do it. Yeah. There was just a loss of interest because it's not about me anymore. It's about Ted. And I'm not Ted. Yeah? That's exactly what happens. You finally hold what you've been listening to all these years as not you, and you lose interest in it. Why? Because it's not you. It's that simple. Yeah. It's just, that's how it works. So non-duality isn't saying chant being ourselves reality. It's questioning what's causing us not to realize being ourselves reality. There has to be an activity that's obscuring that obvious point. Yeah. I mean, you could say being ourselves a good poker player, you know. Okay, a lot of things could obscure that, but reality, I mean, there'd have to be a big fucking 24/7 production to sort of disguise reality from itself. Yeah. Well, this is the act of selfing. You take yourself to be a body. The subjectivity is now seen as an attribute the object has. It's the epitome of duality, and that's what non-duality negates. Simple as that. Yeah. Some poor soul's knocking on the door. I have no time for you. I'm wakening together. Yeah. All right. Well, if you have any questions, you know, reconsider before you ask. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You really encourage questions, don't you?
Yes. Well, I'd much rather starve the questioner because you're the answer.
Well, I had a question until you said what you said.
There you go. It works.
So my question. my
go ahead.
question is, I do have a question. So non-duality, right, of what you just described, couldn't that also be said as I am perfect as I am already and there's no improvement needed? Do you know where I'm coming from?
I know where you're coming from, but it never sends you like a note or anything. And that can be true, that you're perfect just as you are, and there's need of improvement also. They're not two antagonistic ideas. There can be need of improvement for the action figure that you're not, and absolutely you're perfect right now.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You just have to know, like, you'll get the feeling of which is which when it's which. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You get used to it. So, yeah, you have to, like when in Rome, you render unto Caesar's what Caesar's. Yeah. So let's say your joints are getting bad. Yeah. And for you to have be able to walk around in your garden, which is part of the quality of life, it would be good if those joints improved. Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
So
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
take care of that business. But the whole point is the presentation in the head saying that you're taking care of your knees. You don't see that you're the you taking care of your knees. You see taking care of knees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And so now, instead of the emphasis on the false subject, the noun of Inca, the emphasis is on what's happening behind it
Right.
all. Yeah. So instead of getting sucked into the appearance on the screen, while you see all the appearances, there's a sense of the larger picture. Yes.
Yeah.
Which puts you right sized, you as Inca. Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Instead
the
of
figure in the
you as
movie.
Inca, you as Inca.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, both of them can be true at any given moment. Yeah. See, this is the thing. Let's say the Course in Miracles, some people here are familiar with it. They capture this event as dreaming, yes, pretty much. So that the mind, the big mind, is projecting, and then the mind, as a small mind, identified as the body, is perceiving. So the projection of mind, which would be dreaming, is being perceived from the dreamt as if it's real. Yes? Why waste time trying to convince the dreamt it's unreal? Its whole programming is to see it as real. Yeah? Bypass that and just go to the dreaming. Yeah? And then see the dreamt from the dreaming instead of trying to see the dreaming from the dreamt. You see? Yeah. It's very important, really, because this is one of the ways the claiming goes on ad nauseum. Yeah. Whatever clarity, if this movie continues, that clarity will be claimed. Yeah. And will be used to reinforce the one who is clear, which is an absence of clarity of the real fact. Yeah. So now the one grows in great clarity about many things, but it's very unclear about clarity. Yeah. This is one of the things I ran into when I started going to satsang, with that innocent view that I was going to do things to get way better. Yeah. And then I realized it doesn't work with this, because everything else is trying to prime you for a long journey into becoming, or unbecoming and then becoming. This is being ourselves reality right now. Yeah. Like being the sort right now, not when the sort, fulfills some requirements, suddenly it's now the seeker. No, the seeker is the sort now. Yeah. So that which is looking is what we're looking for now. Yeah. So it always brings you not even back, it tells you never went anywhere. So there's not being here now. That's a fact. It's not like some spiritual gymnastics we performed and now we're being here now. That's the fact, being here now. It's all the insane stuff that we're believing that causes it to be some crazy goal. I'm going to be here now. You've already won. You're here now already. Yeah. I don't remember getting here, of course, because you never left here. Yeah. For you to arrive somewhere, you have to have a sense that you're not there. This fact is you're always here at all times. So there's no arrival. There's no comparison when I wasn't here and when I'm here, because this is all the time. It's not based on, all right, I didn't know that was here until it reappeared. Yeah, this ain't going to reappear because it's always here. Yes? It's a whole different ball game, non-duality. It's not like, all right, I've sharpened my little spearhead, I've got my scope, and I'm going for the target. That's not it. That which you can't use mind, big M mind, to seek mind. You cannot use Buddha to seek Buddha. You can't use light to seek light. Yeah? That's not some abstract thing they're talking about. It's meant to be looked at right now because that may be exactly what's going on. Yeah? Buddha, aka Inca or aka Paul, may be using the Buddha to seek the Buddha. Yeah? It makes total sense to Paul and Inca, but when the Buddha hears it, it laughs. Yeah? Because it realizes the absurdity of it all. Like that. It's hilarious, really. Now, to Inca or Paul, it may be a bummer in time, but the first response is hilarious, yes, because you've realized, oops, you caught me. My pants are down, and I don't know if I can even bring them back up. I might as well get used to this. The emperor with no clothes. Yeah. Now, if I was speaking at recovery, we would speak about it a little differently. Yeah. Because this is a message that has percolated into recovery here, has become sort of helpful, where in and of itself, it's not helpful, non-duality. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. It doesn't see any need for help. But the effect of this of Paul from non-duality filtering into recovery is it turns into a form of helpfulness. Yeah. Yeah. Because people are really fucked with, excessive obsession of self. Yeah. And so therefore, to give them the simplest idea that what was giving them so much meaning, the shame and the guilt based on I was the doer of tons of stuff they had nothing to do with. You were dancing with a gorilla. You're going to stop when the gorilla wants to stop. Yeah. Then suddenly they feel a little bit of relief, and then they allow more possibilities. Maybe enjoying peace of mind, understanding the word serenity. And you see, the message is a gateless gate. But in the world of gates, we play that role. Paul is the gate and the little toll booth that has a demand of you and a requirement of you to arrive at where you already are. Yeah. That's what gets fired. Yeah. That's what gets fired. The toll man and the freaking gate. Yeah. This is a gateless gate. It is the open secret. Yeah. So, that's how non-duality, not being a path of illumination, can illuminate paths. Yes, it can. It can bring light, not on the path of Buddhism, but to Buddhism itself. Yeah. So, yep. Anyone have any questions? You're getting it, right, Glenda? You see the direction? We're hopefully like, you don't have to turn around. You just stop, because the idea that you went anywhere is the absurdity. Nothing has changed. The horse is always in front of the cart, but you've been listening to a story that the cart's in front of the horse. Yeah. So the correction isn't really a correction, because there was no need to correct anything. Isn't that funny? Yeah. It just seemed to be so. It was appearing to us to be so. And that appearance of being so is reinforced all day by the mental activity. Yes. It's constantly buttressing and reinforcing that idea. Yeah. You would imagine if it was true, it could rest on its laurels, but it doesn't, because it has to reinforce an idea that isn't true. That takes a lot of work. Yeah. To make something appear that isn't there, there's a lot of work. Yeah. To it. That's why the message doesn't demand any thought or effort, because it's true. Yeah. You don't have to wish it into a reality. It is real. Yeah. There is something that's before all our shenanigans. Yeah. Yes. We're trying to get to it this way, when you just see you're not this and you're here. Yeah. This can only see it as a goal, because it already has a sense of what it is. It believes it's something already. It can't hold those two ideas at the same time. Yeah. So basically, it has a belief that I'm Paul. To try to convince it that it's not is just wasted time. Just hear about this message. Yeah. From the message, not from Glenda. Yeah. 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 A lot of our misdirection is we're trying to look for what we are from what we're not. Yeah. Instead of looking from what we are at what we're not. It's just yes, it's the same thing, but you can see it differently. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Paul. And I it's amazing how I keep taking the message and trying to fit it into Glenda.
Well, that's good, because it won't.
I'm right.
Yeah, and then you'll get there by failing. Hallelujah. We're all good at that, I'm telling you. Go the failing method. It's quicker. Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to get it, Glenda. That's the great news. It truly is. If you got it, forget it. You would make it so small so that you could lose it. So you could have a huge story about losing it and then search for it again. The head's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. How long does it take? I have friends who've come out of bad relationships, and sometimes they call me with a great sense of surprise that the person acted just like they've been acting for 20 years. I mean, yeah. It's like the story of the snake, and the lady saving the snake and feeding it with a little eyedropper and putting a little, sock blanket around it and stuff, and treating it very well. And then about a day later, she's walking with it, not together, holding it, and it bites her, and she's surprised. And she goes, why did you bite me, Mr. Snake? Because she thought being nice and everything should have gotten her the privilege of immunity. But the snake said, I'm a snake. What am I going to do? Yeah. A failed system has value. What can it show you is that it's failed. Yeah. That has value. Huge value. Yeah. If you feel like you're succeeding, you're going to keep relying on what's not working. Yeah. When you finally hit that point and try to get it into Glenda 20 different ways, and you realize after you blame Glenda for not being able to receive it, which is all bullshit, it doesn't get in, then there it is. That's the message, really. Yeah. What happens if you can't get it or lose it? It's not, you're starting getting in the vicinity that it's right where you are. You know what I mean? It's got to dawn on you sooner or later. Wait a minute. I can't lose it and I can't get it. Sounds like me. Yeah. It's always available all the time. Sounds like me. Exactly. Now you're not that me, and bammo. You didn't hit pay dirt, you've been in pay dirt. Yeah. 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 And what, the value for me was I stopped trying to get out of here every fucking day. Yeah. I stopped trying to get out of Paul every fucking day. I did. I stopped trying to escape with any mechanism I could find, a spiritual book or something else or something like that. I just stopped. Something stopped me. Yeah. And then people would call me, "Oh, you missed a great teacher this week." I said, "Great, far out, Oh, I didn't see you at the retreat, and you probably won't soon." And it was sort of like, wow, great. All these buses were passing me by. Yeah. It was awesome. It was time. There was a famous thing. It's a famous Zen story, which is, hey, I'm like a man standing by the river, wanting to buy water. Yeah. And so then it's even funnier. I'm standing right in the river wanting to buy water. Yeah. What would happen if you got that? You wouldn't be going out to buy water anymore. Yeah. You'd recognize you're in the water. You would. I'm telling you. We're not 2 levels below a coconut. We get stuff sooner or later. Yeah. You get it. Wait a minute. What are they implying? I'm like a man standing in the river trying to buy water or something. What? It gets through. It does. And maybe it's enough there's a convincing, and then something is done. Yeah. Something is done. And that little tributary dries up, and then dries up. And then you see the seeking either all at once or over time slowing down. Yes. And it's stopping. And now there's a feeling of being the sought. Yeah. Yeah. And that whole calamity is cleared up. The seeker is the sought. Yeah. And maybe you'll find you can accept shit that seemed to be completely intolerable earlier on. Yeah, because, a lot of your righteousness and shit is because how could they do this to me? Well, they do it and you do it to everyone. I mean, there's no special cases here. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I come. I come because I think there's a heaviness in spirituality. I do. Yeah. A word comes and starts having a big role, perfection. And then at that point, if you really look at the communities, most people would have been better off never hearing the word awakening, really. And then definitely enlightenment. I mean, that's caused so much guilt and shame by how the head uses it. Especially if you think someone is enlightened and you're not, that's terrible. Yeah. So why would that be? Why would something seemingly so wonderful as a presentation, awakening, produce suffering? Yeah. Because of what's claiming it. Yes. Hmm. This is sort of truly, it's not liberation, it's being freed from the need to be liberated. That's what it is. Yeah. That which you're not needs liberation. Yeah. But what happens is you're freed from the need to be liberated. You stop identifying with what you're not. Yeah. You don't identify with anything else because you are that, but you stop identifying with what you're not. Yeah. Yeah. Though what you're not continues to act as if it's identified completely, but you've lost interest. Yeah. 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 That's how I see it. Now, if you want to become a super person with spiritual powers, God bless you. Yeah. You know, I mean, really, what would levitation really do for me if I could levitate 6 inches from the pillow? I mean, it's fuck, you know, use it as parties, as a little, hey, let me show you this. But what's that going to do, Or, you know, keeping myself warm in a freezing cave. I've got sweaters and shirts. I've got heating in the house. Yeah, I don't need to fucking make myself warm in the frozen tundra. I've got insulated jackets to do that. Yeah. I can hold a gaze for 80 seconds. Great. Shit. Yeah. And it's loving at least 76 of those seconds. It starts wearing thin around the 77 second. They're great, but wouldn't you just like to travel later and not have so much importance given to so much stuff? Not because of the stuff, but because of your relation to the stuff. Yeah, isn't that obsession with self? Isn't that obsession with self taking a 2-year course, how to get out of the obsession with self? Couldn't that be seen as obsession with self? It could. Yeah. You're pinned, you give up, no mas, just surrender. Blender isn't going to twist itself to a point where it's going to be able to get it. It just doesn't work. Yeah. You're like that crane at the amusement park. Yeah. You can't pick up the bunny. Yeah. What you're trying to figure it out with doesn't work. It doesn't, you're not going to get the prize. Why? I almost have it. All you get is Glenda throughout the whole event. So, not saying Glendas are not a bad prize, but you know what I mean. Yeah. 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 All right. So, anyone else have questions? Did I just override the whole question period? All right. Anyone else, son? It's beautiful here because it's sunset time in the west. So the light has gone down very coolly while we were yapping here. Yeah. Yeah. If no one's how much time do we have now? Oh, 12 minutes. So let's meditate for 11 minutes straight, and then I'll say my goodbyes. All right. So everyone close their eyes. You're not going to beat the mental claiming. You're not. You're going to be Glenda before you ever even knew Glenda, the head. It's very fast. It is. But you can have an understanding of it being after what you are. And that understanding may really burst into light. It may actually see through the misunderstandings, and you'll get a glimpse of living from that which is actually existence. Yeah. Not an idea. Yeah. Yeah. So Anyone? Glenda, anyone? Jacqueline? No? Well, you're going to have a lot of time to make some announcements there. Yeah, so. I'm going to say, hey, Connie, nice to see you, Connie. Connie, thanks for sticking with us. Yes, yeah. We got Jack R. Nice to see you, Jack. Yeah. We got Inca. Yes, my little German character. Yeah.
And it's a character. It's a character. I get that.
Yes. Glenda. Nice to see you. We got William. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, William. Rhoda. My constant reminder. Very nice. We got, what's this, Deborah, I think, and we got, oh, there she is, Deborah, nice to see you. We got the AT&T radio computer, we got Victoria. Let's see what else is going on. Well, it's a pleasure to see everyone once again. Oh, there she is. Victoria just made an appearance. There you go. Yeah. Now I saw the absence of Victoria and then Victoria. So that means that ain't Victoria. Yeah. The true recognition was before the appearance of Victoria. That was more Victoria than the appearance of Victoria. Yeah. But I can see that which is Victoria through the appearance of Victoria. Hallelujah. Yeah. One doesn't have to go at the expense of the other. Yeah. It's either the appearance of Victoria or nothing, or no. There's the appearance of Victoria, but I saw no Victoria. And then the appearance of Victoria. Yeah? Hallelujah. And I'm going to tell the appearance of Victoria, you don't have to become no Victoria, because you already are. Yes? Just question the appearance. Yeah? Yeah. We're questioning the wrong thing. The only innocent state is what's under suspicion. All the bullshit is constantly verifying itself. Yeah. Have you ever seen a person you know dead? Yeah. And did you ever get a hit that wasn't the person? When you saw the body and the animation wasn't there? It was a mistake you had, maybe for 9 years, 30 years. I was assuming Uncle Fred was the body. When I saw the body without Uncle Fred, it was obvious Uncle Fred ain't the body. Yeah, even for a little kid of 9 years old, it wasn't like I didn't think it through. It was just a hit. That ain't Uncle Fred. That was it. Yeah, nothing right or wrong, but it just ain't Uncle Fred. So there you go. Okay, and I guess that's it. Can we go earlier? Or do we have to sit here till 5:30?
I think we can go earlier. That's
I have
fine.
to earn my paycheck from Awakening
Inca has a
Together.
question.
I'm still waiting for the
Inca.
first paycheck. I don't know. They
Uh-oh.
told me I was going to get benefits in the life hereafter.
We'll
I
pay
don't
you
know.
in virtual hugs.
I'm not swallowing that anymore, Rhoda. Deliver
How
the
about a
goods.
virtual heart?
Don't give me this virtual either. They used to have a BMW commercial, which was pretty cool. Had a European male voice, very suave, and it would say, the 2002 BMW is virtually self-tuning. Yeah. So then a person buys it and can't believe he's got to get a tune-up on the BMW. I thought it was self-tuning. No, virtually self-tuning means it needs a tune-up, just like every other car. All right, thanks. Thanks, everyone. Thank you,
Inca
everyone.
had a question, though, if you wanted to stick around for a few more minutes.
All right,
Oh, she
sure.
doesn't?
You just got me, you just got my toe there. All right.
Okay. Well, I'd like to invite anyone who feels called to donate to Paul Hedderman. He has his own website, zenbitchslap.com. And if you look on the website, there's a donate button where you can just type in donate right after that /. And yeah, that's how you can get paid. See, that's one way.
I already
Can
get
spread
paid.
the love.
Yeah, I already get paid, so it's pretty good. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul.
Yes, I've been taken care of quite well. Yeah, it was pretty trippy. When I came into AA, they presented a principle, which is reliance on something greater than you. Yeah. And then that was put to the test for many years. And it's always delivered the goods, yeah, in some unbelievable ways. But I was always taken care of, and that's been the case for 30-something years, even before that. But I had the eyes to see being taken care of since recovery. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. You don't know things could be different unless you're open to it. Yeah, it doesn't always have to go the way you think. Yeah. So thanks, everyone. Did a great job. Thank you. I'll see you, Rhoda. I'll hear from you Tuesday. I'll see you Tuesday. See you. Bye-bye.